How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading with the prices going up or down. Coinbase Kraken relists XRP following Ripple summary judgment. So, District Judge Alyssa Torres said that XRP, the secondary sales, are not securities, but the institutional sales do not meet that definition as they are securities. This is a partial victory for Ripple for the case that started in 2020. Following the ruling's release, Chief Legal Officer Paul Grewal tweeted that it's time to relist XRP on Coinbase. So, very good move for Coinbase. This comes as other exchanges like Gemini and Kraken mull if they want to relist XRP as well. Algorand receives collaboration proposal from blockchain founder Cardano partnership. Charles Hodgkinson, the founder of Cardano, has extended a proposition to Algorand, a competing blockchain. He says that Algorand could transfer its code onto Cardano and become a sidechain. This proposal emerged following a tweet from John Woods, the CTO of the Algorand Foundation, in which he discussed the state of staking on Algorand and mentioned that Cardano was one of the leading delegated proof-of-stake protocols. So he's trying to say, hey, there's some issues with Algorand, we need to improve these, and Charles is saying, hey, we can help. By leveraging the technical and security infrastructure of Cardano, Algorand could enhance its staking offerings and benefit from the thriving community built around Cardano. Most POS protocols, including Algorand, operate through a decentralized autonomous organization, or a DAO, which necessitates that people need to vote and agree to this change. So if people vote and disagree to this change, there's very mixed reviews in the community. If it gets rejected by the majority, then we may not see this happen. Public good or pandemonium? Arkham's Dox-To-Earn marketplace cuts at heart of crypto. So Arkham Intelligence CEO Miguel Moore told Decrypt that he spent much of his time on calls from social media regarding their recent move. When times are tough in crypto, when there are rugs, scams, and fraudulent behavior, everyone cries for transparency, said Morale. We have created an environment incentivizing users to uncover negative information about the space, disincentivizing people from doing bad things by the risk that somebody may uncover it. So, like I said, this is intended to be a reward to help stop bad actors. Those looking to identify certain crypto wallets or transactions can purchase the exchange's native Arkham token and use it to put up an intel bounty, which blockchain sleuths can respond to. If successful, they'll be rewarded the Arkham tokens. People are worried about all the negativity that could be used to track people that shouldn't be tracked, and he said that given all the negative activity that happens within crypto, we are going to do our absolute best to make it a safe and trusted place, he said. So, kind of like I mentioned the other day, they want to make sure that these bad behaviors won't happen on the platform and they'll only be used for the intended purpose. Kind of like any platform, you have bad that can happen with anything. So over on our total market cap, we are just exploding after getting that news with Ripple. We'll go on the daily here, just a huge god candle. Broke through this support resistance zone, trying to break through this one. If we do get a bit of a pullback here, we could see a drop. So we've killed our ascending pattern. That shows why not every pattern is 100%, and you always want to exercise any kind of a stop loss, which a stop loss is saying if it goes to a certain point, I'm out, and that's as much as I'm comfortable losing. As long as you win more than you lose, you'll win. And just real quick, if you haven't already, like this video if you're finding it useful. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and go to Repo Apparel in our description and get that merch. It's really nice shirts. Oops. They have hoodies, t-shirts, other things, so check them out. And like I said, my link gives you 10% off. So stochastic's starting to curl down. Momentum's trying to push up. We're kind of diverging though, as we're not really getting that much of a new high. So we could make a bearish divergence here, so watch out for that. VWAP's trying to run up, our money flow is in the bullish territory, so we are looking pretty good as far as those signals. But I would watch if we get a bit of a rejection. We could make this a kind of goofy looking cup and handle possibly and see another run up. We'll have to see if that's possible. Over on Bitcoin, dominance is taking a nosedive because everyone's jumping into XRP. because it's being relisted in multiple places. RSI is crashing down, momentum's coming down with a red dot, our VWAP is just dying, stochastic is splitting down, money flow is starting to come out, so Bitcoin dominance, we may retest this trend zone that I left there. Over on the futures, we went up, so we tried to pump up, we're still locked in this kind of sideways bull flag we have. So if this does end up being a bull flag, can you go away? We will be able to see a come on, go away. See a decent move here. If my toolbar would quit showing itself, I'll have to move that. So this could bring us to fill that gap that we have on our Bitcoin futures, but RSI is currently curling down. We have a red dot. Stochastic is trying to pump up. Momentum wants to come up. Our VWAP starting to round off, and our money flow is starting to reject under that neutral, even though we're getting this good move. And we did kind of get back down into this pattern, so I would just watch out. Speaking of which, since we made a move like that, just want to see if we have any quick drops here. If we have any quick drops, we could potentially have a gap to fill. No quick drops new, so nothing exciting. We did actually manage to make a red candle, so not too bad. Over on Bitcoin, just remember that we are in this ascending channel. Even though we have this bull flag, that could be what breaks us to this Fibonacci zone, kind of like I hinted at when we were back here. I said there was a possibility we could come up toward this, and then that could be our point where we reject, and I did initially have this like over here. So that could bring us back down still, so keep that in mind, as we do still have that lower gap to fill, and it's not quite time for the halving yet. We still have a few months. But we are trying to push off the support. If we are able to break away from this zone, we could potentially make some sort of a new zone. We do have this higher volume node that we are pushing away from, trying to break out of these lower volume ones. We'll have to see if we can get more green candles and start to make a new trend. RSI is trying to push up, stochastic's trying to ramp up, our money flow's trying to head up, but struggling here around a 10. VWAP's trying to ramp up, and our momentum's trying to go up. So we do have some positive action here. We'll just have to keep an eye on if it can continue. With that dominance coming out, we could see Bitcoin drop. Oops, did not mean to go to graph. Over on the 4 hour here, we are getting a little bit of a pullback. We do have a kind of long lower shadow candle. RSI is pulling down, stochastic's starting to bend down. Momentum's not quite getting a new high, so we may make a bearish divergence there. VWAP is heading down, money flow is struggling to maintain bullish momentum, even though we had this good move. So just don't be fooled. This could have been our victory pump, and now we could see a sell-off. Sorry, sun in my eyes. Stochastic's starting to push down, RSI wants to make a recovery, our momentum wants to curl over here, so just watch out as our VWAP's about to break through that neutral. And like I always say, if you break through, that'll give us our red dot. Our money flow was going up, but how it's starting to kind of curl away. Keep an eye on if it gets closer to that neutral line and breaks through it. Over on the 1 hour, we are trying to make a little bit of a rounded bottom, so we may see a little more of an upside. However, we could just make a new up channel, so just watch out for that. Stochastic is heading down, momentum's starting to come down. Our money flow is ramping up, we are making newer highs, but with that, we haven't been in this range, and we could start to see a sell-off and cool down soon, so just watch out. And keep a close eye on like the 1 hour and maybe the 30-minute if you're comfortable trading lower time frames. Just be careful, because lower time frames are smaller moves, so they aren't always indicative of a big move, but it can happen. VWAP is trying to curl up, wants to cross through that neutral. If our VWAP can cross through that neutral, it'll give us some more strength on our momentum, and we could see that stochastic curl up and move forward as well. Over on graph for the daily, now we're here where we should be. So because XRP got that bullish news, we broke away from our ascending wedges, which are descending patterns, and we broke bullishly on altcoins because this XRP news is bullish for most of the market, because now XRP is not a security. So secondary sales of XRP have been labeled not a security, and only institutional buys in primary markets are securities. What that means is coins like Algo may not be securities. Coins like Cardano may not be labeled as securities. So all these lawsuits the SEC just started might be in vain. But back to the charts. RSI is trying to point up, stochastic's trying to ramp up, our momentum's trying to push up, we're getting a bit of a green dot as our VWAP wants to head up, our money flow's trying to cross through the bullish, so if our money flow can get some momentum here, we could see a bit of a push up. We'll have to see how these lower time frames are. Likely we'll get some bit of a pullback as we did get, especially on like XRP or Algo, as we did get one heck of a move. Stochastic's making higher highs, but about to cool down here. Our momentum wants to roll over. RSI is pointing down. This is on the 4 hour. Our VWAP is breaking down, about to break through that neutral, so keep an eye on it. Our money flow is in the bearish territory, so even though we got this run up, we are starting to point down, and we do have bearish momentum on our trend. Over on the 2 hour, stochastic's pushing down. Our momentum's got a double red dot. RSI wants to point up, our VWAP is in the bearish territory and pointing down, so if that continues, we could see this momentum pull back down even further. Our money flow is struggling to break through this like 9 or 10 zone, and is currently heading down away from it, so if we continue this, we may see a break through that neutral, as the last time we kind of flipped in the bearish territory. Over on the 1 hour, our stochastic wants to get a curl up, RSI is kind of going sideways, momentum's falling, money flow is in the bullish territory, and our VWAP is trying to push against that neutral, wants to break bullish. So if we can break through here, we may get a green dot, and our momentum and stochastic might push up, and we might be in for another swing up, or we could break through that Fibonacci area that I've been talking about. Over on Anchor, we are heading toward our value area low after bouncing off this value area low, but it's also the top of a ascending wedge. So this wedge is a bit bigger than graphs, so it still has potential to play out, so just exercise some caution. Stochastic's starting to kind of round off, RSI is pointing up and heading up, so that is good for us. Momentum's coming up, got a bit of a bearish divergence going on though, so that's not good. RSI is overall starting to curl over and lose some strength. If it starts to flatten out, just watch out. Our money flow is trying to go bullish, so we do have some decent signals going bullish, but we do have some potential for bearish action to happen. Over on the 4 hour, RSI is still kind of curling. Stochastic looks like it could start to curl if we're not careful. Our momentum is pushing up. Our money flow is trying to get a bit of a push up, so we are seeing some decent signs, and money flow is struggling to break through this 12, so we'll have to see if it can break through and hold. If not, we could see a bit of a sell-off and maybe a slight push up and then a dip down, which could give us our breakdown. Our VWAP is starting to taper off here on the 4 hour, so we are starting to lose strength on the VWAP, which could give us a red dot if that continues. Over on the 2 hour, we have a decent trend going here. Stochastic's kind of going sideways as it has nowhere to go. This is more of a decent uptrend as it's not a straight up channel, so it's not a bearish trend. Could bring us up if that persists and we get some surprise momentum. VWAP is pushing down. Money flow's kind of struggling at this 21 zone, so if it doesn't manage to break through, then we could round off. Last time we were in this zone, we kind of fell off pretty hard and rejected away, so just watch out. Our RSI is heading up, our VWAP is heading down, getting close to that neutral, so if that VWAP breaks bearish, we could be in for a downswing. Over on the 1 hour, stochastic's just riding the overbought area, RSI is stair-stepping up. Momentum looks like it's about to give up some strength as our VWAP wants to go bearish. So definitely keep an eye on the next several candles. Money flow is in the bullish territory. We're struggling to get past this 25 zone, so we could see a bit of a sell-off as we are starting to point down and head down. Over on XRP, we just have this big God candle that took us to our point of control up here. Our golden pocket, So if you don't know what the golden pocket is, see our Fibonacci videos. Again, I'm going to redo those videos. I know the audio is a little horrendous, but we're going to zoom in here. We just blew past our ranges, like both ranges we talked about, and I did not expect it to just escalate that quickly. RSI is heading up, stochastic's ramping up, VWAP's ramping up, our momentum's coming up. Money flow is running up as people are able to buy on more exchanges like Coinbase. I know someone that's probably going to buy in once they hear about that news. RSI is about to round off, stochastic's about to round off, our momentum's starting to lose some strength. VWAP is starting to sell off, our money flow looks like it might be in danger, so keep an eye on it here. We did get big massive buy, so we could see a drop, but we are in the golden pocket, so we could see that manipulation too. Over on the 2 hour, we're trying to push back up, so we'll have to see if we can just stair step back up and get like another run up. It'll be, for anyone that wasn't around 2 market cycles ago, XRP was the number 2 coin. It was above Ethereum at one point before it was labeled a security. So if XRP is able to regain that status, it could make one heck of a gain from here. But not financial advice, just me being hopeful on my holding. Stochastic starting to point down, our momentum starting to head down with a double red dot. VWAP's about to break that bearish neutral zone and head bearish. Money flow is looking like it's struggling to head up at all and losing some steam, so we could see a bit of a sell-off here, so just exercise some caution. If you have profits, you could take some. If you don't have profits, I don't know how. Our stochastic's starting to bend down, RSI is starting to head down, momentum's starting to come down. Our money flow is ramping up, so the 1 hour does look pretty decent. Our VWAP's struggling to go any lower, so it may get dip up. So we do have some signs here that we could see some further upside, so just keep an eye on that as well. Finally, for Algo on the daily, we're getting a bit of a god candle here, pushing against our point of control, because again, like I said on graph, XRP not being a security means Algo is probably not a security. And those sidechain offers, that's good for Algo too. RSI is trying to ramp up, stochastic's ramping up, VWAP's trying to ramp up, our money flow is trying to come up, momentum's trying to come up with the green dots, our VWAP is in the bullish territory. Over on the 4 hour, we're getting a reversal arrow, so exercise caution as we're coming to our point of control, and that means we could reject away, hit our value area low, and hopefully make a bounce from there. Our RSI has a red dot and is starting to curl, stochastic's starting to curl, VWAP's starting to flatten out, so we could lose some steam here and our momentum may start to fall off. Our money flow is trying to head up, but like I said, everything else looking a little bearish. That may start to take a bit of a cool off too. Over on the 2 hour, our stochastic's really tight, could ride the overbought area like everything else, but we could also fall, so just watch out. We are breaking this Fibonacci zone. If we break through and hold, and then drop down, touch, and make a bounce, that would be a good sign for us. Our momentum is trying to come up, VWAP's trying to come down, money flow is trying to break through that neutral, so this 2 hour could flip bullish if that momentum and money flow manage to keep going. Over on the 1 hour, you can see we kept pushing against this kind of support resistance area, broke through. That's why I say every time you touch one, you make it weaker. Our stochastic is just riding this overbought zone, momentum's just riding overbought, our size really doesn't have much more room to go. Money flow is ramping up, it's more on this VWAP, that VWAP needs to push through and break bullish and give our momentum like a green dot, even though that won't give our momentum too much strength here on the 1 hour, that will help transfer into the higher time frames. Thank you for watching tonight's video, I hope you have a wonderful night.